This time in Mastering Minecraft, the forest fires are still burning, but the real battle is happening in the hero's mind. Procrastination, a villain more menacing than any creeper, struck last Monday, leaving the episode in limbo. But today, the hero fights back. First, we finish what we started. The smithing shop will rise in all its glory. But that's not all. For the first time ever, we pull back the curtain and reveal the entire process behind an episode, from concept to final build. How does an idea become reality? What challenges arise along the way? And most importantly, how do we keep the creativity flowing? Will the hero conquer the struggle and emerge victorious? Stay tuned to find out. You heard it, folks. The hero fought the greatest battle of them all, against his own mind. Let's be real, we've been all there, but instead of giving in, he's here pushing through, building, creating. If that's not worth the like and the subscription, I don't know what is. So show some love, because even heroes need a little backup sometimes. Let's go, hero! Alright. I know what you're thinking. Where was this week's episode? And trust me, I was asking myself the same thing. But hey, even heroes struggle with some dreaded void of procrastination. And trust me, it's not a cool feeling. But fear not, because today we're back on track and we're turning the slump into progress. So, hello everyone, and welcome, dear Kneecap community, to this week's episode of Mastering Minecraft. First of all, I need to thank the narrator, because I didn't believe when I heard that he's backing me today for once, but I'll return the favor. I definitely owe him one. So, how have you all been? I hope your week was a little bit more productive than mine, but no worries, we're making up for lost time. And yeah, is there a better way than by diving into today's checklist? Okay, so first we're pulling back the curtain a little bit and taking a look on how an episode is actually made, starting with a creative mode where you can see the world, where I built the stuff before building it here on the server. And we'll run into a wall with trial and errors, and of course after that, we're putting together the material list before we even get to the actual build. And speaking of builds, the smithing shop is finally getting the love it deserves. We'll be gathering materials, building the interior, and adding the final details to make it truly stand out. And yeah, I think it's a jam-packed episode, so let's not waste any more time. Let's get into it. Alright, so here we are behind the curtains where all the magic and a lot of trial and error happens. Welcome to my creative world. This place is basically a direct copy of our server, updated every time we finish an episode. So yeah, this is basically where everything starts. Now, every time I load in here, the first question I ask myself is, what's next? And lately, I need to admit, it's been a tough one to answer. Creativity doesn't always work on command. And the past few weeks have been a bit of a struggle, but for this episode, one thing was clear. We need to finish the smithing shop. So, if we step inside, you can see I actually started working on the interior last week. It is basically finished. So you can see there's already a bit of structure taking shape. And yeah, so just to give you a bit of a background. So first I have imagined to have all the vendors on one floor and have their rooms upstairs. But I kind of underestimated how big or how small the actual room is. So I noticed putting 3 vendors in here is going to be a struggle, because one thing that was important to me is that it doesn't look like it's cramped in, so that every vendor has enough room and space to sell things. And it may sound like overthinking, because yeah, it's actually just a game. Not every vendor needs enough space, but for me it's an important detail for the shop. So what I did was I built a second floor underneath it where I put 2 vendors in it. And as you can see, there wasn't a lot of how should I say, tricks and things I did. It's just basic. Okay, let's get under the shop, remove all the walls, remove all the stone, and put the villagers into a corner where they can sell their stuff. So the second thing was I had to design kind of a corner where they can sell their stuff. So I already used the turned stairs as a table at the library, and I completed it with the carpet and fence. And the carpet and fence, they have actually a function. They frame in the villager. You see the villager doesn't know he can actually move out if he would want to, because he just thinks there's a fence here, and you know, if you fence in a villager, logically he can't escape. And to hide the fence, I put on some carpet on it, and that's the same thing I did underneath here. And to decorate, yeah, the space underneath these stairs, I used a little bit of greenery. So as you can see, what is left to do is actually some detailing of the interior to decorate everything. And decorating is something I usually don't do on the creative world, which is kind of paradox, but it makes sense because I haven't installed all the mods I have on the server. For example, the statues mods, where I can hide the item frames, for examples. I can make those armor stands pose. Yes, and that's basically it. So behind the scenes, I start on envision something, try it actually out, like I said at the beginning, with the villager floor, trading floor, and the upper rooms, which didn't work out. And after that, I just try something else, like I did with the second floor. And what now actually happens is I try to prep everything to move it into the normal world or into the multiplayer world. What I use for that is light medica, and as you can see, and when I pick up a stick, this is actually what happens. I can select a corner, select another corner. If we go up, you can see a selection is made. And what I do is I actually edit the area so that it contains all my changes. So as you can see, this gray area here contains everything I did or pre-built. And what I can do now is I can save it into a scheme and save that. And if we move onto the multiplayer world now, I can paste it, and as you can see, everything I have to remove or everything I have to place is shown to me by Light Medica. And what's left now to do is to build exactly what I've built in the creative world. And let me just remove all the dirt and all the stone beneath it. As you can see, we have a lot of blocks to remove. So red is actually blocks I have to remove, and red are wrongfully placed blocks. So for example,
This is the wall that you have seen down in the room downstairs, and pink are blocks that I have to remove. So let me do that real quick, and I'll show you guys how I can show you guys how I can get the material list also with Light Medica. And before I start removing the blocks and leave you into the time lapse, I just wanted to show you I moved the beacon over here. I can tell you why this is a good strategy. So if you look at how fast I'm removing blocks right now. So for example, I have stone here. So with a netherite pickaxe, it already goes really fast, as you can see. But if you use the beacon and use haste 2, you can see on the top right corner I got the buff now. And if I try to mine stone now, you can see it's a lot faster than it is when I'm not mining it without the beacon. So when I'm mining it without the beacon, I just neglected it twice. So I'll leave you into the time lapse. See you guys in a bit. And get ready to eat some kneecaps. And here we are back in the empty hole. And as you can see, if I go into the schematic placement and place the schematics, the room appears. I know where I have to put the stuff so that it looks just like the creative world. And what is left to do now, I can configure the schematic, and one of the options is the material list. If I click on it, I can see what is missing, and what is left to do now is gather the missing materials and then start building the room. So I would have said I go get the materials, build the room, and then we go into a little bit of interior design, decorating, detailing. And with a little bit of effort, we have everything we've built in the creative world, in the now on the multiplayer world. And let me just turn this off. And now the interesting part starts. So as you can see, it's just a blonde room currently. And what we're going to do now is go into the decor and detailing. Okay, so when it comes to detailing, there's something I'd like to do, and this is envision myself being part of this world, or being a character in this world who is trying to buy some armor, tools, weapons, whatever you can get at a smithing shop. And I played that through in my head. So for example, I'm Kneecap the hero and I need everything that prepares me for an adventure. So I go into the shop and the merchant welcomes me. And the first thing I expect is some display of his goods. For example, at this wall. So if this is the armorer here, I expect each set that he sells displayed on armor stands here with different poses. And what I also expect is for him to leave some pieces at the desk so I can pick them up, I can test them, I can feel them, I can touch them. And the same goes for the guys downstairs who are selling me tools and weapons. When I come down, what I want to have a dummy where I can test the tools on. I want some tools hung on the wall so I can be impressed on the craftsmanship of the merchants. And as I did above, I want some tools that I can test out, that I can pick out. And what also would be neat is some heads displayed, which were collected by using the tools the merchants are selling. So, I think you get the idea. We want to display a lot of the stuff we can buy here, and to think of of kind of an adventurer shop. Banner are also a theme, so you want maybe war banners or something, or a white banner. If there are people who think they might have to give up, not us, but you know, there are some people like that. And some pictures maybe of some heroic heroes or of some battle scenery. So I think you get the idea, and what I always like to do is do that on the fly. So let me get the stuff and show you what I mean by that. Okay, as you can see, I started with the front where we display the armors that the merchant sells. I decided I'm going with the classic gold, diamond and iron armor. I put on some enchanted diamond armor pieces, for example the helmet and the boots. There's a trick I want to show you guys. You can actually put the armor frames behind glass, and the trick with that is you can use a piston to do that. And let me show you how this works. So you put a glass on the above the armor, or above the armor stand, that's more correct. Then you put the piston above that, place a button and press it, and as you can see, the first block went down. So you just put another block of glass, press the button again, and then remove the piston and place the old block, the last block of glass, and as you can see, the armor is now behind glass. Now we're going to do that for the last one, and after that we'll go on to the counter and see what we're going to put on the table to display. Okay, and as you can see behind me, we have a finished wall. I also put an image out there, up there, and you can see a cowboy riding his horse. So I thought, hey, there is horse armor in the game. Why not put it up there too? And as you can see, we are displaying some armor stuff on the table. And what now is coming into my eye is that this wall and this wall are empty. So we are going to find out we have to find out what we're going to put in that wall and on that wall, so it doesn't look that empty. So I'll be back in a sec and tell you what we're going to do with these walls. And here we are back with the finished floor. And as you can see, I haven't done much. I just thought the lighting has to be a little bit better. So we got the hanging lanterns. And what I did, I put up a hanging sign and a picture. I think that's enough. When you detail, you kind of have that gray area that is between too much detail and a perfect amount of detail, or too less detail. I don't know. I think you know what I mean. So I had the feeling that this completes everything. And when I was starting to design the second floor, I thought why not? Let me explain it this way. So we have a pretty static display of armor in the top floor or at the main floor. And if we go down, I thought, why not make the armor stands display the tools in action, if you know what I mean. And so if we go down, you can see we have a villager that is planting some corpses. We have a strip miner. We have even an enderman that is about to chop some wood. And we have an epic fight between us and an invisible creature. And you can see that it's much more livelier than the armor stand up top. But somehow this feels right, and this feels also the same right. It doesn't feel more right, but I think you know what I mean. So I think there is different ways to display stuff. So for tools, I thought it is best when we display them while in use or about to be in use. And I think that completes the second floor pretty well. So as you can see, I didn't. The idea was, okay, we want to display some tools, we want to hang up some heads, and we want to do something with armor stands, and then you just try and do stuff. And yeah, I think that this took me now maybe 2 hours to build, because I tried many different things, and I'm happy how it turned out. And with that, I think we can finish the episode. And there we have it. Another project checked off the list. Today we finally wrapped up the Smiting Shop, giving it the proper interior it deserved. From gathering materials to refining the design and bringing it to life in the live world, I've taken you through the full process, showing that every great build starts with an idea and a whole lot of trial error. I know the trial error part, yeah, I couldn't show you that, of course, because we would sit here for 3 hours, me letting you guys watch how I build something, destroy it, and start again. But I think you've got the idea on what goes into making an episode. And yeah, now I know I dropped the ball last week, and I just want to take a moment to say sorry for missing the episode. Sometimes life and a little bit of procrastination gets in the way, but from here on out, we're back on track. The goal, I would say, another strong streak of weekly episodes. We had, I think, a streak of 22 or 23 Mondays not missed. So yeah, let's aim to beat that. And yeah, so I want to thank you all for sticking around, for your patience, and for being part of this journey. As always, if you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to leave a like, drop a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. More exciting builds are coming, and I can't wait to see where we go next. Until then, remember, a kneecap a day keeps the stress away. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.